This video was made in collaboration with NARUTOPEDIA. For more information, check out the link in the description. The history of Konohagakure from Naruto. Konohagakure is the hidden village in the Land of Fire. As the village of one of the 5 Great Shinobi Countries, Konohagakure has a Kage as its leader, known as the Hokage, of which there have been 7 in its history. Konoha resides deep within a forest at the base of a mountain known as the Hokage Rock, which has the faces of all those who have taken the office of Hokage engraved on it. While generally seen as most powerful of the ninja villages, Konoha has enjoyed many years of relative peace and stability. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the history of Konohagakure. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Founding. During the Warring States period, ninja were organized into small mercenary clans that knew nothing but battle. The 2 strongest of these clans were the Senju and the Uchiha, who had warred against each other for their entire histories. Eventually, intending to end the constant bloodshed, Hashirama Senju used his position as leader of his clan to broker a truce with the Uchiha clan through their leader, his childhood friend Madara Uchiha. Thus, the Senju, the Uchiha, and their respective affiliated clans formed the first shinobi village, Konohagakure, a name invented by Madara himself. Other villages would soon start forming, following Konoha's example and essentially ending the Warring States period. Hashirama used his wood release abilities to produce much of the village's infrastructure. This ability and his ideals were 2 of the reasons he was chosen to become the village's leader, the Hokage. Madara, however, feared that the Senju would oppress his clan and attempted to gather support to overthrow Hashirama. No Uchiha would help, forcing him to take on Hashirama by himself. Madara was eventually defeated at what would be called the Valley of the End, and he was believed to have died. As a result of the battle, Konoha came into possession of the Nine Tails. To contain its enormous power, the village began its trend of sealing the beast within the Uzumaki, a clan that the Senju and thus the rest of Konoha had close ties with. The first 3 world wars. At some point, Hashirama came to bind most of the tailed beasts and sold them to other villages during the First Shinobi World War to promote peace and tranquility. However, this peace was short-lived. Hashirama died during the war shortly after the village began to flourish, and the mantle of Hokage was passed on to his brother, Tobirama Senju, who became the second Hokage. Tobirama would later be killed by Kinkaku during the same war, but appointed Hiruzen Sarutobi as the 3rd Hokage shortly before his death. Years later, during the Second Shinobi World War, Hiruzen led Konoha's forces against Iwa and Suna, using Amagakure as their battleground. Ame's leader, Hanzo, also fought Konoha a number of times, and during one of those battles gave Hiruzen's students, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru, the title of Sannin. During the 3rd Shinobi World War, Konoha fought the ninja of Iwagakure across Kusagakure. Konoha was almost defeated, but Minato Namikaze and his team helped turn the war in their favor. Nine-tailed Demon Fox's attack. At the end of the 3rd Shinobi World War, Hiruzen chose Minato to replace him as the 4th Hokage. Soon after Minato took office, however, a masked man kidnapped Minato's wife, the current Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, Kushina Uzumaki, after she had given birth to their son Naruto Uzumaki and removed it from her body, which he then used to attack Konoha. Minato was able to defeat the man, but the Nine-Tails proved more difficult. Left with few options, Minato and Kushina gave their lives to steal the Nine-Tails into the body of their newborn son. Many ninja died defending the village, and most survivors blamed Naruto for the Nine-Tails' actions. Hiruzen, the Hokage again, outlawed all mention of the Nine Tails so that future generations would not hate Naruto as their parents did. The Hyūga Affair. The Hyūga Affair, as the incident is known nowadays in Kumogakure, happened 9 years prior to the start of the series, while Kumogakure and Konohagakure were at war. In an attempt to put an end to the fighting, they agreed to a peace treaty to be signed on the date which coincided with Hinata Hyuga's 3rd birthday. The treaty was soon revealed to might be nothing more than a cover when the person who was the head of the ninja of Kumogakure at the time, who was in Konoha to sign the treaty, attempted to kidnap Hinata in order to obtain the Byakugan and its secrets. The shinobi was killed in his attempt by Hinata's father, Hiyashi Hyuga. Uchiha clan downfall. Konoha's leadership believed in Uchiha was responsible for the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox's attack, and as such cut off the Uchiha from much of the village's affairs. Angered by this mistreatment, many of the Uchiha began plotting a coup d'etat that would wrest control of Konoha. However, some Uchiha saw the dangers from such a venture. One such figure was Itachi Uchiha, who became a spy for Konoha's leadership. After peace talks failed, Danzo Shimura ordered Itachi to wipe out his clan in exchange for being allowed to spare his younger brother, Sasuke. Itachi, with assistance from Tobi, did as instructed, but staged events to seem as though he acted alone for selfish purposes, so that Sasuke would someday take vengeance against him for what he did to their family. Konoha Crush. During Part 1, Konoha is the site of the Chunin exams. During the exam's final stage, the village is invaded by Otogakure and Tsunagakure ninja, and attempts to end the peace and prosperity that Konoha alone has enjoyed since the Third Shinobi World War. The invaders are repelled, but Konoha suffers heavy casualties, including Hiruzen. Although Tsunade quickly replaces him as 5th Hokage, recovery for the rest of Konoha's military forces is slow. The village is understaffed until Part 2, leaving it unable to properly respond to events occurring in the interim, such as Sasuke Uchiha's defection. Pain's Assault. More than 3 years after the failed Konoha Crush, the 6 Paths of Pain of Akatsuki attack Konoha in an effort to capture Naruto. Konoha's forces have some success while fighting the Pains individually, but can do nothing to stop the village's destruction by Pain's Shinra Tensei. Naruto returns to Konoha shortly afterwards and defeats Pain before confronting Nagato, the man behind Pain. After Naruto convinces him that his actions were wrong, Nagato gives his life to revive everyone that died during the invasion. Tsunade is left in a coma from exhausting herself in protecting Konoha from Pain, causing Danzo Shimura to temporarily take office as her replacement. Danzo oversees the start of the village's lengthy rebuilding process and deals with the immediate aftermath of Pain's attack. The villagers decided to rebuild their village in the same place instead of a new area, as they felt Konoha is where the Hokage Rock is. 4th Shinobi World War. Because of Akatsuki's growing aggression, the ninja villages decide to form an allied shinobi forces to oppose Akatsuki in the 4th Shinobi World War. Danzo is killed shortly after the alliance is agreed upon, but Tsunade wakes from her coma in time to start overseeing the war efforts. Despite still being under construction, Konoha is used as a haven for refugees fleeing countries where much of the fighting is expected to take place. By the time the war is won, most of the village has been restored. As a result of the war, Konoha's population suffered greatly, but it gradually recovered. Post-war. During the 6th and 7th Hokage's era, the hidden village that was Konoha had stopped being hidden and instead became the first metropolitan area in the Land of Fire. Stores which had been in business since the village's founding grew into 24-hour businesses, and due to condos housing hundreds of people, it brought in more immigrants. Konoha's population eventually turned prominently non-shinobi, due to the academy introducing a general studies department, with its ninjutsu department falling below quota in the peaceful era. Military budget was considered to be lowered in order to focus on other projects, leading to decreased funding for organizations such as the Anbu. The village expanded to the land behind the Hokage Rock and installed the Thunder Rail throughout the village, leading to Konoha being regarded as a city rather than a village. 4 years after the Otsutsuki invasion on Konoha, much of the village, including the Hokage Rock and the city behind it, has been destroyed. Did you enjoy our new video? Make sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.